Hello everyone, welcome to Statecraft IS Academy. As you all know, we have started a new initiative called the Daily Current Affairs Discussion, and you'll get the PDF of this video in the Statecraft's Telegram channel, Statecraft website, as well as in the description box of this video. So let's get started with the current affairs. Our first topic of discussion is Lenienholm Island. So recently, Denmark has approved the building of this island. It is an artificial island which will be built off the coast of Copenhagen. So Copenhagen is the capital of Denmark and it will be located near the Baltic Sea. I'll show the map of it. And this project is designed as a housing and business district for around 35,000 people, and it will be built using the soil from construction projects in Copenhagen and the surrounding area. Concerns related to it are like the transportation of material by road would involve a large number of vehicles. Around 350 lorry journeys will be required once the construction has started. Also, the movement of sediment at the sea and the possible impact on there will be a possible impact on the water quality and the ecosystem of the Baltic Sea environment. So following this, a case has been registered before the European Court of Justice for the because of the development of this island due to the environmental concerns that it has. Next, we see the map of Denmark. It is between the it is in the middle of the North Sea and the Baltic Sea, and the bordering country only includes Germany. Here you can see the Baltic Sea and the countries, these three countries nearby it, that is Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania. These three countries are known as Baltic countries. And you can see that Baltic countries is also surrounded by Sweden, Poland and part of Russia, Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia, and Denmark as well. Next, we'll see the Atlantic Charter. So it is a joint declaration which was issued during the World War II by the United States and Great Britain. So it was actually a vision for the post-war world. And this was first announced on August 14, 1941. A group of 26 allied nations pledged their support. And the one of the major points of it includes that the nation's right to choose its own government. Also, there'll be easing of the trade restrictions and a plea for the post-war disarmament. Also, this document is considered one of the first key steps towards the establishment of United Nations in 1945. And this charter includes 8 common principles, which include that the US and Britain, they agreed that they'll not seek any territorial gains from the war, and they opposed any territorial changes made against the wishes of the people concerned. And also they'll support the restoration of the self-government to those nations who lost it during the war, and the people would have the right to choose their own form of government. Also, there will be a reduction in the trade restrictions. There will be global cooperation to secure better economic and social conditions for all. There will be freedom from fear and want. There will be freedom of the seas. Also, there will be abandonment of the use of forces and the disarmament of the aggressor nations. And recently, President Joe Biden and the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson plans to sign a new Atlantic Charter, which pledges to defend the principles, values, and institutions of democracy and open societies. Next, we'll discuss about Argostemma quarantina. So Argostemma quarantina, it's a new plant species which belongs to the coffee family, and it was recently spotted in the Vagamon hills in Kerala. Next, we'll talk about Srivilliputtur Megamalai Tiger Reserve. This is the 5th Tiger Reserve of Tamil Nadu and the 51st Tiger Reserve of India. So it was recently added in the Tiger Reserve category in 2021 itself. So it was jointly declared as a Tiger Reserve by the centre and the Tamil Nadu government in February 2021. Earlier we only had 50 Tiger Reserves. Now we have 51 Tiger Reserves, and these Tiger Reserves are very important from prelims point of view. So it's very important to learn learn it by heart, all the tiger reserves and where they are. So talking about this tiger reserve, for this the Megamalai Wildlife Sanctuary and the adjoining Srivilliputtur Wildlife Sanctuary were clubbed together, and the vegetation is of mix of tropical evergreen forest and semi-evergreen forest, dry deciduous forest and moist mixed deciduous forests and grasslands as well. And Megamalai also has a large population of spotted deer, Indian goats, wild boars and other carnivores. So the other 4 tiger reserves in Tamil Nadu include Mudumalai, Annamalai, Satyamangalam and Kalakad Mudanturai Tiger Reserve. Next we'll talk about Umling-La. So Umling-La is one of the highest motorable roads in the world. It is located in the Ladakh region of Jammu and Kashmir. Next we'll discuss about the Surakshit Hum Surakshit Tum Abhiyan. So it is launched by Niti Aayog and Piramal Foundation. Note, it is launched by Niti Aayog and Piramal Foundation. So it was basically launched for the 112 aspirational districts, and this campaign will provide COVID home care support to 20 lakh citizens. It's a special initiative, and in which local leaders, civil societies and volunteers will work with the district administrations to address the emerging problems across the key focus areas of the aspirational district program, and it will be led by the district magistrates. So it will be led by the DMs of all the districts, and in partnership with over 1000 local NGOs. And they will train over 1 lakh volunteers to connect with the patients through inbound and outbound calls. Next, we'll talk about the Aspirational District Program. It was launched in 2018 as the Transformation of Aspirational District Program. Its objective is to transform some of the most underdeveloped districts of the country. And it focuses on the strength of each district and also identify the low-hanging fruits for immediate improvement, and also rank these districts. So at the Government of India level, the program is implemented by Niti Aayog, and in addition, individual ministries have also assumed the responsibility to drive the progress of their districts. Also, a total of 117 aspirational districts have been identified by Niti Aayog based upon the composite indicators, which include health and nutrition, education level, agriculture and water resources, also financial inclusion and skill development, basic infrastructure. All these have an impact on the Human Development Index. So these indicators have been considered, and the broad contours of the program are: first is convergence between the center and the state schemes. This brings together the horizontal and vertical ties of the government. Next is collaboration of the center and state level Prabhari officers and district collectors. It will enable impactful partnership between the government, market and the civil society. Next, a healthy competition among the districts. It will driven by a spirit of mass movement, and it also fosters accountability on the district governments. Next, we'll talk about the Central Adoption Resource Authority. So recently, the Supreme Court has directed the states and UTs to take stringent actions against the private individuals and NGOs who invite people to illegally adopt children orphaned by the COVID-19 pandemic. So Central Adoption Resource Authority, it's also known as CARA, is the nodal body in India for the adoption of Indian children. And this primarily deals with the adoption of orphan, abandoned and surrendered children through its associated and recognized adoption agency. Note that it regulates both the in-country and inter-country adoptions, and also it works in accordance with the provisions of the Hague Convention on Inter-Country Adoption, which was ratified by India in 2003. And this authority is an autonomous and a statutory body, and it works under the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Also, CARA is mandated to frame regulations on adoption related matters from time to time as per the Juvenile Justice Act of 2015. This authority was set up in 1990, and in 2018 only the CARA has allowed individuals who who live in live-in relationships can also adopt children. Next, we'll discuss about the Hague Convention on civil aspects of international child abduction. So, Hague Convention, it's a multilateral treaty. So, remember that Hague Convention, it's related to child adoption. And it is an international treaty that ensures the prompt return of child who has been abducted from the country of their habitual residence. And this convention applies to children aged under 16 years. Next, we'll talk about the QS World University Rankings of 2022. So, it is released by the Quacquarell Simons. It is a British company which specializes in analysis of higher educational institutions around the world. And it is the only international ranking to have received the approval of International Ranking Expert Group. And it is an annual publication. Also, this includes 6 indicators. First is which includes academic reputation, employer reputation, citation per faculty student ratio, international faculty ratio, and the international student ratio. So, key findings of this report include the top 5 universities in the world are Massachusetts Institute of Technology, University of Oxford, Stanford University, Cambridge University, and Harvard University. Talking about the Indian scenario, only 3 educational institutes from India have featured in the top 200 list, that is the IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, and IISc Bangalore. And no Indian university has ranked among the top 250 in the faculty student ratio category. Also, Jawaharlal Nehru University, that is JNU, has entered the top 1000 of the QS World University ranking for the first time, as its new undergraduate engineering program now makes it eligible for the rating. Last, we'll discuss about aducanumab, so which is also known as Aduhelm. It is the new drug which has been approved by the US Food and Drug Administration for treating Alzheimer's disease. So this Aduhelm, it's not a cure, but it slows down the cognitive decline. So basically it slows down the deterioration of the brain function. So this Alzheimer's disease, it causes the accumulation of debris, which is caused by the breakdown of neurons in the brain, which leads to plaque formation. So this Aduhelm, it is designed to reduce the presence of amyloid beta, which is a protein that forms the plaques in the brain. So it reduces the formation of plaques basically, and it aims to alter the course of the disease by slowing the deterioration of the brain functions by reducing the plaque formation. Also, since there is no treatment so far, the drug can slow down the Alzheimer's disease much. Talking about the Alzheimer's disease, it's a progressive neurologic disorder that causes the brain to shrink and the brain cells to die. This disease is the most common cause of dementia, which is what happens is there is a continuous decline in the thinking, behavioral, and social skills, which affects a person's ability to function independently. And this disease is caused by the abnormal buildup of proteins in and around the brain cells. So one of the proteins involved is amyloid, which amyloid is the deposits of which forms the plaques around the brain cells. And the other protein is tau, deposits of which form the tangles within the brain cells. Also, Alzheimer's disease most commonly affects the older adults, but it can also affect people in their 30s or 40s. All for today's guys. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.